Dun, 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 dun. I was on the phone, so I do apologise. I was on the phone. But I've got some news. I've got some news. And it's like quite good news. Where's mixed bag news? Mixed bag news. I'll tell you what though, it's been a crazy. Hopefully you can hear me. Crazy couple of hours, days, weeks. Today's been mental, and I think what I want to put out there is there's ways of coping and dealing with high pressure situations. And I think what we've got further validation of today is if we go about it in the right way when we're leading up to. So I've had 3 bits of news today. I'm not going to go into detail because I'll be careful what you say or not. But what I will say is about how you lead into an event of such magnitude, whether it be your first court case or whether it be your mid-flow of all your cases, how you lead into that and what you do to put yourself on the best foot forward will have a massive part to play in the outcome of that hearing. And being prepared for, and this is really important, being prepared for knowing that you're at a hearing and it's not going to impact, it's not going to take, you're not going to come out your children, basically. Yeah. That's you need to be always having that in the back of your mind. But you need to always ask and have contact and ask for contact. And even if you know you're not going to get it, you've always got to ask. And you've always got to be polite when you're asking. Today, we've had a couple of people, I'm not going to say, but people who go into court with a very, very clear mind and a very clear methodical head, and in a really difficult situation when you've got a huge amount of pressure on you and a huge amount of exaggerated and fabricated allegations or whatever they might be. You've got to really own the courtroom, because it's your courtroom, it's your court hearing. You've got today, I think what I'm really impressed with what I saw was people who are owning their aura, their space. Breathing is really important. Yeah, and I'm trying to be careful with what I say, because what I want to say, I don't want to get myself or anyone else in trouble. So leading into an event which is high pressure, how you deal with that pressure is going to influence how the courts perceive you in that moment in time. When you've got a number of stretching and tense allegations against you, you want to scream, you want to shout, and you want to let the whole world know that this is wrong. But there's a process. Yeah, there's a process. And I think what's important is that what I try and do is teach people about the process and make sure they're aware of the process. One of the things they went perfectly, superbly, and like couldn't have gone better. And it was a beautiful, beautiful judge who literally, I believe, had. They said they didn't. They said they didn't read the statements, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all, because they knew that how many pages it was. They knew stuff that was in there. So I think that was a massive winner. And what was being asked for and what was actually given was 2 different things, and it went exactly how it was supposed to. And then you've got and take me wrong, we almost lost it at the end. Because we almost lost when you're in the unknown and when you're not sure what's going on. And I'm sending messages, and because he's this guy, yeah. So I'm saying it's all good. But then you want something. You want people to hear your voice. You want people to know what you've got to say, and you want people to hear that your version, because as men, we don't get the chance often to put our side across. I don't think as often as we would like. What we need to remember is I can't say any names, but I'm saying hello to them. But you owning your emotions is difficult. Yeah, and I think letting when you hear parts of conversations, and then you're jumping in, you can't do that. And then when you get in all flustered, you can't do that. And when they're not listening to you, and you can't tell them, you can't flip out at them. I've done it before. I've seen many people do it. in the past. I will see many people do it in the future. But where possible, we can't be letting ourselves go down that road. Yeah, I'm saying coming here and I'm doing a positive because this is, even there was a post I saw something earlier with one of my people and it was fairly negative, and it was like, I said to him, he said, is that loud? I was like, well, I don't really care, but it's negative and I don't see what you see. I see something different, and I got emotional in there because emotions were running high, and I could see how much it means to this person, and it's like you've got to try and simmer down. When you can't get time back, and I know that, and that's what's difficult. That's what makes it so frustrating. But the higher your conflict, the higher your rage, the higher your fury, the more length of time you're going to get between hearings. I put money on it, and that's because they are trying to let your frustrations simmer down, and they hope by the time you get back into court that you wouldn't be so angry. That's in, like, if you look at layman's terms of law, that's in there as well. So you've got to really make sure that you're going into these things knowing the worst that they can say, and somehow finding peace within yourself to not react to what people are saying to you and what's going on, because you miss the most important things that are being said. And then when you are interrupting and talking over the judges or the professionals when they're talking, or anyone, your ex-partner, anyone, you've got to show respect. And the amount of people I hear saying, I'm not doing it, I don't do it, that's not right. So, well, I'm not being funny, but you don't do it, then don't do it. But you're not going to get any contact. But that's not right, it's not fair, is it? No, it's not. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. But that's life. This is my big boudoir, by the way, my boudoir. A few years ago, to give it all up. I'm missing some of these comments, but thanks for watching. And yeah, my boudoir. But yes, you can't be letting the emotions get to the better of you. On the flip side of that as well, and this is again something I'm really happy about, because nothing's ever finished, nothing's ever over. So I've made enough mistakes to know that in family court and in life. So you can always make mistakes, especially when it's about your kids, as long as you're not calling anyone a really, really bad name. But ultimately, another bit of success from having a very difficult, this other guy, he hasn't had contact with his kid since for a long time, and I think November last year, and we have been having to go through the mill. And there's a few of you that I know that have had the same issue where your partner, the residing parent has moved to a different location. Yeah, and even though you put an order in place and there's an order in place not to move, they still do it. And this is one of those situations where that's happened, and the distance between them is massive. We had news today based on that person's conduct and how he's come across. In again, so difficult. It's so difficult because you're not seeing your kids; it's your kids. And I've seen him in bits, and I've been in bits when I've been listening to him on the phone and talking to him as well. And it's like, it's difficult. But then to get that good news tonight, that made me emotional, because it's happy tears. It's happy tears. But that again shows the patience that he's had, the patience that he's had, how he's conducting himself when he wants to just do the Hulk and rip his shirt off and say, I'm not having this anymore, because that's how we feel. That's the result of that. Is we haven't even got a court hearing saying that. We've got a CAFCAS officer saying that, because the CAFCAS officer, we've shown them respect. We've shown them respect and treated them like human beings. We've been honest with them. We've taken responsibility for our actions. That's what we've done, and that's what he's done. And when you're doing that, it takes away any argument they've got, because you're taking away the need for a finding of facts hearing, which is most of the time what they want. They want the finding of facts hearing to take up more time. You can take that away by taking responsibility for shit. Watch how quickly things move through the mill. And when you're thinking, and like I was, and I said this to someone earlier, I was in family court for my first case, for a long time, long time. And that's because I was behaved really badly. It's because my attitude was poor. It's because I was treating the professionals with disrespect. That's because I was treating the judges with disrespect. It's because I was doing protests with Fathers for Justice. All of that stuff combined, they've got control. Yeah, they've got control of me. They've got control of my daughter. So when the judge turns around and says to you, well, you're not going to get contact if you continue like that, because you're not, for me, being a responsible parent, then you've got to think, fuck it, do I just want to see my daughter, or do I want to see my son, or whatever the case might be? Or am I going to continue this, or am I going to stop? I chose to go my own way, and this is the road that I walk on now, which is working with the system, not working with it, because we do. Those who work with me know that we take, we've got our strengths that we work towards, and we do very well when we do things properly, and that's what I'm trying to say. So 3 cases today that have all, in my mind, got the positive outcomes. Nowhere near finished, none of them. Nowhere near finished, none of them. But then it's good to have halfway hearings where your behaviours that are getting positive are getting recognised by the professionals. And I think that's happening more and more, because if you're calling out the right stuff and you're doing it in the right way without using big fancy words, but by just describing what you've had to experience and what you've had to go through, you'll find that you will get a lot further without calling out all the big fancy stonewalling, gaslighting. Describe it. Tell them what you've experienced. Tell your story. Yeah, but try not to be too negative. Look, you've got to try. Ultimately, right? And I saw a post earlier somewhere. Your first job as a parent is to make sure there's no conflict, make sure that child's happy. When you've got conflict going between 2 parents, you're fighting a losing battle. You've got to take that fire away. You've got to take the fire away, and you've got to give it love. And it's difficult, especially when you're not getting the love back. So you offer empathy and you offer respect. Yeah, and then you get on with your life the best way you can, and you be as happy as you can. Because suffering is a choice. Yeah, you can be pain. Pain is inevitable. Yeah, we're all going to feel pain. But you want to suffer, that's your choice. You want to suffer, it's your choice. And that's what I've got to say, really. Nice and quick. Positive, happy with the people that were working today, or that have been doing stuff today, and those who have had challenges. Challenges are a lesson, yeah, and we take them on bit by bit, and we never get beaten because we learn all the time. And oh, thanks, that's good. Oh, that's good. I would say so. I can just see Facebook users, so I can't see any names, so I do apologise. Yeah. So look, I think there's another bit of proof there that obviously that's a bit positive thing there. So if you do things right and you have the right behaviours and the right patience, and it hurts, I'm not saying it's easy, because it hurts. It's the most painful feeling in the world, but you do it and you get through it. And it's another bit of proof there that the philosophy works. Yeah, and it's not easy, by no means easy at all. But thanks for watching. I've got loads to do, but thanks for watching. Anyone's got any questions, fire them over. There's links available so you can book appointments and that sort of stuff. Do what you need to do. But I'm doing as best I can to get through as much as we can, and doing as much videos to give you feedback on what I'm experiencing, what we're going through, and lessons that we can all learn together, and you can take things from and try and implement into your own cases, because the more we can help each other, the better it's going to be. Anyway, peace and love. Lila's glove, and I'll speak to you all soon.